Yeah. Alright. Flight boy. Girl, what you doing tonight? Yeah. I can put you on a flight. Yeah. Flights. In the sky like a beautiful kite. Yeah. You just might confuse it with Christ. Yeah. Flights. Yeah. I was like, oh no. Whoever you thought it was, bitch is Dolo. Oh no. Yeah. You was like, oh no. Whatever you thought it was, bitch, I'm no. Oh no. My bad. I ain't really mean to call you out your name. I only want you. I tell you now, girl, I'm out the game. Without the plane, I don't see you going that far. Tell me where we go in that car. Without no gas, bitch. I bet you think I know magic. That's why. Rolling. And I'm all alone. Lights, bitch, I'm rolling. And I'm all alone. Lights, bitch, I'm smoking. Like Cheech Joe. Lights, told me you are not at home. I had to say no, baby, you are not alone. But there's some things I gotta know, yeah. Cause ain't no one girl gonna stop the show. Why you make that crazy face when you dropped your phone, yeah. Girl, don't worry, I'ma make you crazy. The pussy murder was the case they gave me. I was in the affirmation, playing the angel horns. Don't about to go in this angel form. Uriel, what you hating for? 16, I'm out like a canker sore. Whatever, I be out like an 804. I don't even know the time like 804. All these clothes I make up for. You and yours, I'ma take you on tour. Always dressed like the Pilotman, that's my uniform. A unicorn with this rap shit. This magic across the atlas. Ashes from that grass, bitch. My last bitch was too ratchet. I left her alone. Flights. I'm on to the next one, let it be known. I'm on to the past, I'm letting it go. Flight boss, make sure you know. I'm rolling. And I'm all alone. Lights, bitch, I'm rolling. And I'm all alone. Lights, bitch, I'm smoking. Like Cheech Joe. Lights, told me you are not at home. I had to say
I'm saying that's how you make music with culture, bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's forever lasting. I don't know what year it came out. Did it come out in the 1700s? Did it come out in the 1600s? Did it come out in the 15th? You just know something came out. And that's it. Because once upon a time, you was a beautiful baby. Now, all babies ain't beautiful. We're going to stop there. There was a lot of babies born once upon a time named with witchcraft words and stuff. Hiltr. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff be happening and stuff that y'all was so. Every baby that's coming in the world ain't part of God. You gotta understand that sometimes. Just going around, I don't care, that's your family member, best friend. You know what I'm saying? Somebody you went to school with. Everybody ain't, everybody ain't no geometric beauty shape. We had somebody running a whole cult called Heaven Gates. I'm pretty sure he had family members saying he was beautiful too, but we see outcomes. Don't be so quick to put your foot in your mouth. What hospital you at right now, waiting on time and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And we're gonna get deep into some dreams because I need y'all to understand what this means. Because a lot of times this could save your life. I got a lot of live streams. They probably on a lot of them on Patreon, probably, but about dreams. But it's infinite knowledge, just how we see externally, internally, when it comes into that realm. Infinite knowledge. So there's always experiences, and that's the only thing that's real. So when you understand the experience is the only thing that's real, that's the thing you need to be developing. You might be like, but what's the point though? We only live one time, or whatever the case may be. The actual goal and the mission is, what that is how you make organs. So you want to make sure the organs that you already made from that same process, keep that a well-oiled running machine. Keep creating new blood. You bringing the heavily above waters as below. And I told y'all that ain't nothing but you creating something from the inside out. And what appears to be above is just all the things that's taking lighter forms. And what appears to be below is just all the things that condense in that transformation mechanism of becoming light then heavy. So you like, okay, this is a form of life that I'm experiencing, not something I need to be trapped in, then call it believe in, not just believe. And now I'm lost in a dichotomy. Really, I'm just lost in my own mind, and I may be on my way to Yahlahué. You know what I'm saying? So this what we trying to get everybody out of also, because your dream and life's supposed to be beautiful, not your dream and life's supposed to be a nightmare in hell. You know what I'm saying? So we got to don't separate, don't get lost in separation. It's just a knowledge to understand that your spirit making the mind and the body, and they has a form of connection, not you getting lost in the mind or the body. You don't even believe in yourself, the spirit, the space, the observer. But you know, you had a lot of thoughts you stopped caring about and you stopped believing in, all the way to dreams you stopped having. You still was the observer. You had a lot of physical attributes that you once could do, you can't do no more. A lot of physical attributes you start to have the ability to do that you can't do previously. Almost like a kid, not no longer needing training wheels. You see what I'm saying? Yet you still was the observer for those experiences. What's that, atheist? What's that? You know, because I like, can't nobody debate me. You know what I'm saying? See, when you ain't got no dog in a fight, you able to look at everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's be like, you retarded, it ain't that. You retarded, it ain't that. It might be something in your own mind, lead to your own bias. And if I feed to it, I see how far you willing to go to do it. You ain't no different than wash your shoe. You know what I'm saying? Real, you know what I'm saying? Real shit. I can see it. I got the eagle's eye. Got turned into a goddamn bird. At least you get to see what them monkey asses who was doing shit to you, though. You know what I'm saying? Real shit, you get to come back, tell a family member, tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend. Then it's the man ass, you know what I'm saying? Message. Oh, Marlon Damon Wayne face neck. No. But yeah, when you get into these energies, like, and we're gonna get into specific animals and stuff like that. So we're gonna get into the common animals, because everything is a connection. Because I'm logical too. So say we in the atheist shoes, right? They could come up with some shit like this. Shit that I already explained myself in other concepts when people want a pure rhetoric. Of course, if you stay in a country that McDonald's don't exist, you may not have no dream on your mind about a McDonald's. But you might have a concept about a restaurant. See? Stop there. Boom. So you ain't got to get no to specifics or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So somebody, even if they're not an atheist, they'll try to argue and be like, hey, but what if I ain't never seen that animal? Thank you so much for the Aquarius. I mean, for the cashapp Aquarius, Gemini. I appreciate that from my heart. And they'll probably be like, then what if I ain't never seen that animal before, or whatever the case may be? Whatever you saying is made up. All right, now, for you to be aware of something, that means you share this existence. Worlds is mind states. Teamwork makes the dream work. It becomes the global atmosphere and the environment for us to be aware of each other. Based upon the spiritual root race, that's going to be the level of comprehension of awareness we have within each other, based off understanding, all the way to developing a language, because you have similar organ way of running things. So we're going to have similar things that we have in common, doing it in our own way. We got the ability to think and create organs like brains and hearts, but we all going to do it in our own way. Whoever got the longer lifespan have the longer attention span. They've been here longer. So the one who was here longer is able to train the one that came after, and it's not ever the other way around. So atmosphere could train humans, humans could train animals, animals could train bacteria, bacteria could train parasites, parasites could train whatever y'all consider atoms, or whatever the case. You see what I'm saying? Not the other way around. So everything that come after the fact create a remix version of what you have already laid. So you have already created the mental concept, teamwork makes the dream work, condensed as the organ concept, and what has the same ability to think to make something similar. Add that mixture that is born within and create a remix version. So an animal is something you once was in a new evolved way, when another spiritual root race take the form you previously laid with the new form that they're creating, a native mind, and it becoming an organ. If you already in the world with a mind, group of minds that created organs already, you're piggybacking off that based upon relativity and synchronizing what your most on your natures is geared towards and what you're going to need once you externalize. And then for the most part, this is how we get pockets of worlds sharing this existence together for us to be aware of each other. So that's the form of connection. So you can have a dream about an animal that ain't even aware yet, or a creature or a beast, whatever, but it's something in existence, but for the most part, it's just in this essence of a characteristics that you only can shape it out based upon your level of comprehension. So this is even how we made mosquitoes. You know what I'm saying? We in a certain thought process as spiritual spaces, souls, make that mind state. It could then become a blood flow. Teamwork makes the dream work. We made the atmosphere, the universal as above, so below water flow, the water, us dying next to water along with animals, right? Another spiritual root race may come in a certain pocket of a thought form within that atmosphere that condense and become a certain pocket in that water flow that start to condense and become a mosquito race, right? So for the most part, the very same thing is made out of is the very same thing it needs. If you 75% of water, that's the thing you need to survive. If a mosquito need human blood to make babies, there you go. Got to make things simple. You know what I'm saying? You got to get cold. You got to get cold with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Get cold with it. Get y'all in situations of understanding what you are experiencing outwardly is a concept of what you are experiencing inwardly, just in a different modified shape, such as what we created from the inside out, and we can see the global water, and you is just a different modified shape of water. Right? Then you got the percentage scale of fire. You got a percentage scale of earth, and you got the percentage scale of air. So it puts you into a situation of knowing if you understand the way that these elements is playing out, you're able to tap into the same quality of the element, just playing out in different modifications and mathematical precisions and things of that nature. And therefore, this is how you're able to see it within a person's characteristic or within the modification that you make within your dreams. So the spirit, the soul, individual spirit, which is we all got a space. That's the equalized word of it. Multiple just means spirit. We all got one. And singleizing, you have an individual soul, solo. Right? So you know that when you're making a dream, you're making a mathematical precision, and that mathematical precision represent an experience. So you're developing how you see things, how you're going to filter things. And right now, being an earth being, you're doing that with the air element. Once you become an atmosphere being, Atmos DA, right, amongst the Atmos DA piece, the holy ones and stuff like that, then you'll be an air being, seeing things through the lens of the sunglasses, the sun body, the Ray-Bans. When you was a water being, right, you were seeing things through the earth band, the earth glasses and stuff like that. So that mentality of imagination condensed as an actual atmosphere, the spiritual root race could create organs that represent that teamwork makes the dream work, atmosphere and environment. So this is how we became what we call land creatures. That ain't nothing else but a more expanded concept of water. But fire, water, air, and earth. But just the living process and what we're attaching these words to is. You see, it could be lack for better words when we come into English. You get deep a lot of times because English don't necessarily explain. It's really just a language based off pigging and creating business and interpretation amongst each other. So we do want to talk about anything else, it's going to be generalizing. So that goes into naming water, like oceans and rivers, God concepts, like the term God and all this other type of stuff. So you're not piecing it out. So you'll have a struggle thinking that multiple concepts that collect together to be one thing, you would think each version of those things is a monotheistic God or something like that, and try to compare and contrast with a word dichotomy because you believe inside of things that play into other areas that mind state ain't got no business for you to be using your mind for, and start struggling with debates and dichotomies and weird arguments about this is how 2,000-year-old arguments come to be about, well, it has to be one God, multiple gods can't exist. Then when people describing multiple gods, they think these multiple gods at war with each other. That's just like you at war with yourself inside of you with a bunch of thoughts and feelings. You at war with yourself, bitch. But each thought and feeling, each that condensed to become each organ, heart, lung, or whatever, all make you, bitch. So really, when you be praying to your ancestors and your spiritual predecessors, and you being amongst that, you as a spirit creating a mind father that condense and become the son that raise up, become the adult female or man, and then this become the father. Then you keep it alive. You keep the 1, 2, and 3rd dimensional flesh alive with the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional mind. 4th masculine, 5th feminine, 6th mind. And then for the most part, that's you in your mind representing your body, and as a spirit, you're controlling both of those things. So when you praying to yourself, But based upon the spaceship you in, your mind, and how you made your body, you try to harness or praise on the most sync and the most relatable natures. And these could be fruits, animals, all kind of stuff that's indifferent than the negative fruits with poison ivy on it, and negative animals that lead to destruction and deserted. And that's you leaving the happy hunting grounds in the holy Garden of Eden. So you know what I'm saying? So you have to understand, when you see it in that aspect, this put you in a situation of knowing that you're making a mind, and that mind is what we're calling a fruit, and it becomes your organ. So you sing songs that become songs, and it's vibrations become sounds, become physical based upon condensity. So what's condensing something in one space? A spirit. And if it's a collection of spirits doing the same thing, it's a simultaneous thing of subjectivity becoming objectivity. So if each spirit, space, soul has the ability to think, fulfill their own space, and it condense, then if we all doing that right next to each other, we're creating that same thing as in a world itself. Now we all get the experience where we're doing that subjectively from an objective point of view. So we all represent one thing. But when you get lost into anthropomorphizing and God and stuff like that, then you lose what's actually going on. You forget that you're just doing your ability. You can't think for someone else. You can't even think for a monkey, which y'all be trying to. You just need to know we share this existence. But worlds is minds. You know what I'm saying? So that's a different world. A bird mind is a different world. A monkey mind is a different world. Not you can go to you could have a monkey mind, and like you might be like a settler, and that's the type of movies you like to come up with. You think a different world is a different world, a different earth or something like that. That's another mistake. You get lost, and it ain't got nothing to do with that. So y'all got a peep game on that too. So when it comes into each character outside of you, whether you are aware of it or not, a lot of times you are attached to these things because you share the same existence, right? You share, for an example, for you to even have breath or the awareness of phasing into your lighter, dense body and stuff like that. That's because you are aware of the atmosphere. But since you're not really caring, it's something you do so natural, the wind and the atmosphere and stuff like that, your own peace that you keep in your own cycle, you're not understanding that's when you phase off into your imagination or your dream that collect here with all of us and stuff like that. So you're not seeing it from that aspect. So you don't know that it's the same type of thing that's happening where you're connected with everything in existence. So you're a part of it. So just because your level of comprehension may not be full around it, right? That's your path for you to learn. And this breaks it down into what you're spiritually experiencing and get a more hold on what life is about. It's about experiences. That's the only thing that's real. So it's not saying go jump out and have 1,000 synthetic experiences and go to Disney World 1,000 times. It's saying conduct the experience, control it, make it up. You know what I'm saying? Conduct the experience. So you could be put in a situation that ain't even really have anything to do with you, but you could conduct how the experience is affecting you. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter how hard somebody else may try or how much you added to it, once you die, you only going to how you made it up. You going to your maker. But you're not just gonna, it ain't gonna condense and come into earth, because you have to get out that mind too, put depth to that thought form, so you could go make another mind, another body, and your spirit could be a broader size. And that's what it means to be an adult spirit. When you create a mind, that form, you get inside it in formation, and then you form it out, inflammate it, it becomes an organ. And then the more you create other experiences with that you just made that one body with, that's on the train of thought and line of reasoning of organ expansion. When as a spirit, once you create a mind, get lost into a desire, don't like the other desires, it's things you don't like yourself, it play out simultaneously once you're born in a physical. And that lack of self-reflecting play out as self-projecting towards the world outside of you. And then for the most part, if you take that mind and how you made these organs to just make a whole bunch of remixes of how you made this organ again, it's organ implosion and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So you didn't use the mind, heart, and like a heart chakra and the heart organ to do new type of things to make you have the spiritual expansion to make a new kind of heart and heart chakra and a new kind of heart organ. You use this heart chakra and this heart organ to protect this heart and to think about the heart and the heart chakra or something like that. You see what I'm saying? You get it? It's like that's organ implosion because you did the thing that you did to get here to keep doing it again. You didn't do the thing that you get here to do something new. So for the most part, you're on the train of thought, a line of reasoning of being stuck or whatever. So whatever you do inwardly, outwardly, once you leave this body, you're only able to do inwardly inside of your own mind. And you don't have the thought or the feeling to create the experience of having another experience that ultimately take you out that mind door gate, exit, then enter into you making that other mind, expanding out of that previous one, and then you can make similar forms with your new one, and then have better comprehensions of how to go about previous situations that they play out in your current next life and things of that nature. So you're able to be born again, to create another mind, another body, but based upon a dream. For an example, like this, how a lot of times, if you're a female or a man, right? And let's say if you're a female and you taking advantage of a guy a lot, or however the case may be. Now, let's say you die, you go to a form of hell. These are forms of graces, though, right? Whatever you was doing internally to motivate that guy to do something for you that you know was negative, or whatever the case may be, these be the type of dreams you have that you got to convince yourself for these same type of things to be allowed to be done to you. And it might be situations that you're so intelligent, you know all the ins and out to make you come to ideas to refuse it, that you'll never want to be in that same situation. That person and whoever you're dealing with in your dream is not even them. It's you dealing with yourself, and you're convincing yourself to stay in your hell. So every time you convince yourself to not have that new thought, and your new thought is going to be specifically for you. Your thought is whatever you was doing to the guy in your dream, the guy got to do that to you. And it's going to be everything that you wouldn't allow somebody to do to you when you was alive, but all the deep things that you felt you had to do to him. Now, the only way you're going to create a new, you're probably going to get tired of doing having the same relationship so much, is you're going to get bored like this, like a frustrating bored. You're going to take any relationship that demand some type of thing to do that to you. Once you're going to be in hell not knowing it, but it's going to be so long, you're going to reach those days where it's going to be you being so negative and plunger up your ass type of feminist type of person, the old in your dream or something, where you take advantage of somebody and they so much of a sucker, you're going to want a person to even act like they lying, but stupid at lying about it because you're so good at it. So they might even think they're intelligent even when they ain't. But this is the way you're going to be seeing it in your dream. And the moment you allow the guy to do something like you do something to you that you did when you was alive that you don't know, it creates a new experience that you're unfamiliar with, that you get back into a naked space, that north node, south node, aka something that's too unfamiliar, gotta grab to something familiar so you can feel safe. But then the new the new unfamiliar situation allow you to understand new capabilities you have. You ain't know you could jump that high. You ain't know, so you're forced to develop that thought and feeling on your own without no assistance. So you're forced to develop your own layer in that early stage, how we all do as spirits, to develop a mind and an organ for you to be an indigenous. But for the most part, when you're in that space, once you have that type of dream, then you be born again. You know what I'm saying? So that new birth of an idea and feeling allow you to be a spirit to get out of that thought and go into the spaces where all the other spirits that's on synchronicity and relativity to all the things that make up this world and stuff like that. And being born is one of them. So that attached to other things that ain't got nothing to do with being born. A new experience. Something attached to Ba. You know what I'm saying? So be or boo, right? Or something attached to newness. So all that is representing new experiences. You can't have no new experience if you in your ego and you only want to see something your way, and you even have some type of door up against something that refuses you to have a new experience because you think you know better towards whatever you've been doing. And especially if you're in a synthetic world, you'll be in some type of aspect thinking you're doing the right thing because you're getting it in while they're getting is good. So this is a whole way how people to get trained to go to hell without knowing it. And it's like that and vice versa with the man too. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you was doing with a female or however the case may be, right? You have to allow that to be done to you, and then you get born as a female. Same way females, they have to allow that man to be done to them. Then you go into more on a percentage scale of the the male chakras that been in to become the male organ and stuff. So now you become, we all 50-50 from the spirit. But then when we take more of the percentage scale of one side of something, because we on the side of other spirits, that's how we jump on a pocket. And now you're going to be 60% feminine, 40% masculine. So you have to equal it out with the 10% of your spirituality, learning that small percentage scale that you lack because you have the 10% covering up by the organ. But it's just the mental chakras, masculine and feminine. And then if you're the man having to do that situation, you'll have to take the female. If you're the female taking that situation. Now there's different reasons also why we could utilize and be females and men and stuff like that, but that's just one of them based upon our desires that we in, and it makes up our experiences from the less layer to the heavier layer. Now when you're dreaming about animals, right, animals represent the natures outside of us that you could be. If you have a dream and you see an animal, it represent what you're actually experiencing as a characteristic that a spirit maybe in a human maybe carrying at the moment, or experiences themselves as forms. When you make a mind to be inside of, you're inside of a creature that you created. So even when you make an external blend in with others, right, it make portals, aka us making experiences together. So everything is a form. So it could be a situation with you, other spirits that's alive, and ones that's trying to be born in lesser forms, that's all fulfilling that space, creating a circumstance, a situation. See what I'm saying? So for the most part, everything is like a form that you know that you're going into, and you add percentage scales to it or not. So if you're not taking responsibility in the less layer and the heavy layer, this how things could be going against you or not in your favor, and you don't know why. But it might be still something that motivated you to be a part of it in the first place, that if you would have looked at it from this lens, you would have seen it from a mile away, not something to be a part of. You see what I'm saying? So when you're thinking about animals and stuff like that, or even situations and circumstances, it could be a collection of spirits that's planned out in that situation when you're woke. So when you go to sleep and when you dream, it could be like that kind of concept also, like buildings or that you're in. These just mean containers. Certain animals that you see, all these represent the same thing, not just people, right? So you can see an animal in your dream, and it may represent a collection of spirits, including yourself, that you involved with physically when you're woke. And the situation itself may be snake-like. The person you connected with when you alive, when you woke, and or snapped out of daydreaming, they might not be the manipulative person in the situation that y'all both participating with. You see what I'm saying? So you got to look at it like that. It's a lot of, like, you, for example, all y'all got jobs. They got make everybody have jobs and things of that nature. But so in your mind, you and the person in your friend or family, everybody that you at work with, y'all don't feel like y'all doing anything wrong. But in all actuality, whoever planned the property got, y'all just making that person look good. Whoever owned the business or whoever owned the restaurant or whoever owned you see what I'm saying? So it's all about where you place your perspective, and do you care about yourself or not. And then the greater you start to become aware, the more you start to respect yourself a little more and more and more. The more you're not aware, the more you start to settle for less in areas that ain't even got nothing to do with you settling for less. It just got you in a situation of thinking that this is what you're supposed to do. And that's dependent on if you're heavily distracted by like Walt Disney or something like that. But so let's get into some of these animals so y'all can understand certain things too. And let's get some of these people out of here too. I'm saying, because people just be saying any old thing, and you're always trying to come in new names and stuff like that. Let's see what. People just be like, hold on. You just get your ass up out of here. Get your ass up out of here. Get your ass up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I'm just flooding my goddamn shit from the down. Get out of here. Goddamn retards and reprobates and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why y'all like to do reverse counterproductive bad business energies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all stay online all day and think y'all got jokes from online that don't even be like, it's just stupid. Get your ass out of here. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Now look, we talk about dreams now, right? I'm saying that people talk about I don't even think Reggie exists. That's how you tell us white boys. Fucking retard. All right, now look, check this out, right? Now when it comes to owls, because it's like birds, canines, felines, uh uh things that crawl in the damn woods and the beasts and stuff like that, things that fly, lay eggs and this motherfucker shit in the damn water. All these got their own sentiment to it. So you have to understand that too. And when it comes to like things that's aggressive, and I don't want to say just aggressive, but things that usher in things, right? This could be correlated to the fire element. Things that fly or whatever, that could be correlated to the air element. Things that's in the water, that's water element and stuff. And things that's deep in the beast or in the woods and stuff that can represent the earth element, or things that's stationary, or things that's more not so quick to move or have to be changeable all around and stuff like that. Like I forget what they call that. What they call that not hunter. I forget what they call that, where you kind of move all around with your agriculture, because we kind of did something like that, but they over exaggerate with that word on Google. That ain't what it's about. So these natures itself, right? And these could be qualities that you're doing also. So it's not always predicated on the external situation or people, places, and things. It's also could be an energy that you're in, and it could be showing you this is a side of you that you need to start paying attention to. And it's for your necessity when it comes to when you're awoke and when you're dealing with things, because this could be an energy that it could be a light that someone else see inside of you. They're not seeing it as you being in a dream in that animal. They're seeing it as a light inside of you that they could take advantage of you, that you're not valuing for yourself. And this is how you get taken advantage of also. So you have to be careful of that. So that's where that concept come from. Also, where your spirit is not in the situation of looking at itself as important. So it's not developing those thoughts on why that's to be and why it should look at itself as important. And you could get lost in like Walt Disney, like, or something like that, and then think this really settling for less from the world. They'd throw a lot of rappers, singers at you and make you think that's the highest plateau or something. They not really shit. I'm saying all these rappers are just trying to find, and actors and actresses is just trying to find ways to capitalize on this land the way whoever teaching them to do it. So it's never going to put you in a position. But then if you don't even want to be in a position to even have yourself in a better position, don't have to do all those crazy things, then that make you have to question that too. You know what I'm saying? Because then you have people sit back, well, that ain't even something I want to do. It ain't something nobody should want to do. But it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. And then that's when you'll start thinking, well, yeah, I'm just as talented as other people, but it's that other type of circumstance that's making me want to turn the other way or whatever. So that don't got nothing to do with me putting what I'm doing in the back seat. And eventually you develop the energy for whoever doing what they doing anyway to have to capitalize off you. And then once you start melting gold, right, you have to be your own capitalizing person, your own cobalt mine person. Shape your own goals, shape your own forms and stuff like that. And then that's when you doing what you're supposed to do. Other than that, it's just going to be a whole lot of complaining, like how we have been doing for the false concept of 2,000 years. So you have to understand that too. All that synthetic. We like in, if you want to be technical, we like in year like at least on this land, if we want to start the calendar of the Americans on this soil ain't start to 1777 that George Washington manifested destiny. So we like what 300 years. Like this calendar should be we only 300 years, but we ain't had that type of calendar. We had cycles and all kind of stuff just for the beginning of time. But all calendars is represent when some government establishing themselves. The Americans wasn't over here for no damn 2025 years and shit like that. So I don't know where they came up with that BC and that's some shit they was doing over there in England or whatever. But when they came over here, that was 300 years ago. The end. That the Gregorian calendar over here is this 300 years. You know what I'm saying? Or 300 to 400 years. That's pretty much it. Other than that, the hell with a motherfucking calendar. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Y'all just learning about when the government did something and then 1920, when the government did something in 1828, or when the government did something in 17, and then it pretty much stopped over here. And that's when the Gregorian calendar should stop too. Any other debate, argument about it, you are out of your mind in white boy scholarship. No. Because you wasn't dealing with them in them years. I don't even think a lot of them was there in these years. Oh, shit. Like, y'all got to start making sense out of shit. Y'all don't be making no sense out of shit. Y'all be saying it's 2025. So what part of that time and decade and century did they colonize Africa? Did they colonize India? So you going to start understanding what I'm saying then. You know what I'm saying? Okay, a calendar just means when somebody started government. Okay, well, over here, okay, the natives said they started it in 17 cents, so that's really the only Gregorian calendar. So whenever they took over somewhere else, shit, we ain't all up under around the world 2025. Life ain't start 2025 years ago. They trying to get y'all in some replacing history shit. Hey, we might have been controlling y'all because we wrote a book about it about 2,000 years ago and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all believe it, we could just say monarchy's been ruling for 2,000 years. Hey, we about to be the only ones hitting y'all upside the head with swords, though. So, you know what I'm saying? Just don't go back too far, because you might go back far enough to realize swords ain't exist and shit like that. But yeah, it might be a Viking, though. Might be a Viking with one. This might be out of year if you do too much studying. We might even be metal medals yet. You know what I'm saying? Shit. They be hit y'all with all kind of movie lies and shit. They be hit y'all all kind of DreamWorks. Hit them with the DreamWorks. I also hit them with the Pixie. I also hit them with the Disney. Real shit. But when y'all start making sense out of shit, that's when you want to understand. All right, now look, owls. Now, if you start seeing owls and then birds and that, birds represent messages. Everything is a message, but it's element based. You know what I'm saying? You might have been in thought a lot, so you're dealing with the lighter element of your body. So before it condenses and become organs and stuff. So a lot of times, you could, depending on what space you're in spiritually, that's the mathematics you're gonna make up whatever esoteric city you in. That's what you're going to be aware of and help get developed by us already making substance there. So sometimes you might make up a dream of think of you flying. You might make up a dream of, you know what I'm saying? Bird, you might see birds, or it just means when you was woke, you was in thought. Now, depending on your personal situation of how you was in thought, that's going to be constructed of what mathematical position that you make up about a bird. So this is going to be what kind. This takes us into kinds now. Kinds of natures, kinds of birds. So when you think about an owl, right, this is something that's sitting and watching and listening and being able to see the full surroundings of a situation. Now, if you can't see the situation or people or person, that when you woke and now that you got this knowledge to be able to point that to, then that's for you. That's a side of you, not a side of them that you need to pay attention to. A side of you have not been paying attention to. It's not always what you're doing. It sometimes could be what you've not been doing, and that's more so than often. So you're not paying attention to a side of you that could be used as a quality to protect you or allow your creativity or charismatic gifts to appear to be a lot better, or you to be more attractive in whatever that you're steering your energy in. Directing your energy in and shit like that. So for the most part, that's when you start to see an owl. And a lot of times they're nocturnal. So a lot of times when you have a dream about an owl, even if it's a daytime dream or whatever the case may be. It's telling you to go into your nighttime, go into your star robe, go into your nightgown, go into your internal bed, go into your internal and see a different side of you that you haven't been seeing, because it might be something that you need to express, and it might make you win that audition. It might make you get that job. It might get you recommended first. It might get you through word of mouth faster than someone else. You know what I'm saying? Whatever quality you start expressing that you haven't been seeing, but it's going to put you in that spiritual space of, should I do it or not? And then when you do it, you're in a new experience. Now you're developing new capabilities, and now you can lead the way for others to show them how to be more of themselves in their own way, to expand, not be so constructed in a bias or a desire or a synthetic world based upon what Walt Disney taught us. You see what I'm saying? Because a person would be afraid to expand even within the lens of something that we're all doing normal, when it start to get outdated and dried up and dehydrated, and this is a drought. You got the rain and tear, aka you got the your day to rain, day, your fire to rain, your water, so it can emanate internally and outwardly and become the air and the earth. You got your air, the airs of your throne. You know what I'm saying? And word of mouth for everybody to know where you sitting at and be the shit. So it's your day to rain for your air and throne. Air to throne. Day to rain for your air to throne. Fire, water, air, and earth. You know what I'm saying? So so in the spiritual world, it just means your vision condense as the atmosphere become a sun, fire, then condense and become the water, your day to rain, condense and become the clouds and the water, and then the air, your throne. It passes through the atmosphere, and the sperm seeds reach and grow and become birth as the throne and stuff like that. So it spiritually, it just means your vision rain down, spreads out, and condenses. And then we can see that as in the aspect of fire, water, air, and earth, spring, summer, fall, winter. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? Birth, life, deterioration, expiration. And when you do it in that process, you're not living backwards. Through death, looking for to be liberated and some deteriorated thing that's outdated, in search for life in it, and trying to be born in it and getting old and outdated in it and stuff like that. So you just living backwards and shit. And then somebody probably making more money off that and shit and called it a corporation. So you gotta understand that too. Now, so that's owls though. Eagles. Eagles, when you see an eagle, that means it could be vice versa, internally or someone outside of you, right? Someone got their eye on you, or you spent a lot of time having your eye on another. You know what I'm saying? Or, like I said, doesn't even have to be a person. It could be a situation. Someone may have their eye on something you are a part of. You may have your eye on something others are a part of, or a situation, or something you want to attack, like a goal. So it's like you being a spiritual prey at the happy hunting grounds, seeing something outside of you that you want to attack. In the physical world, that would be a goal. In the spiritual world, that's you being wise as the serpent, gentle as the dove. So you're seeing how you can attack it at each angle without alarming it, so it to move. So if you're looking at that like money, and you don't know how to be at the happy hunting grounds, then in the spiritual world, you don't know how to be wise as the serpent, gentle as the dove, then catch it. You always do something, make noise, and then it moves, and that creature, at whatever it condense, if a large percentage scale condense down here as trees and money, then it'd be like money running away from you and stuff like that, or relationships, or circumstances, or opportunities. They all play out in the same type of way when you don't know the holy versions and getting the holy messages from the holy ones of how to go about it, the absolute way that you kind of understand and do it in your own way, and go about it from the beauty path. You know what I'm saying? So the ego represents either you having an eye on something, you know what I'm saying? And the tiger sometimes could represent that too. This is where we get the concept, the eye of the tiger, you know what I'm saying? Or bird's eye view. So, but they represent two different scenarios. When you think about the tiger, that's a feline. But when you think of, because we're gonna get into that too, it's more in the on the grounds, right? When you think about the eagle, it's above ground. So when we think about the eye of the tiger, both of these is concepts from an equilibrium perspective of you having your eye on a thing, a goal, or a person, or someone having that on you. But the the tiger represents the earth element. The bird, the ego represents the air element. So when it comes into the dream, that's what modifies it of who has the eye on, the purpose behind it. You might have your eye, if it's the bird, the ego, someone got their eye on you or you got their eye on them based upon a thought. And that can lead into jealousy also, right? You may think somebody about to get something before you get it. That's if it play out negative. Or you may see something someone else don't get. I mean, someone else don't understand or get. And let's say you in the same field as them. It don't even have to be a specific ego. But if you have that dream or any type of thought that make you see something someone else can't see, and if you act on it, it allows you to succeed in that area that you share the same field as them. That's the eye of the ego. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in thought first. Now, when it comes into the eye of the tiger, it represents the earth element. So that's somebody got their eye on you based upon your condition, something you already got, not a goal specifically to attack, more on the feminine, not masculine, having to externalize and attack a goal, the feminine having to protect something you already contained. So when it comes to the eye of the tiger, it might be you seeing someone else and it's something you want to take from them or a position, or it might be eye of the tiger on you. You might be in a position or got something somebody else want to take. So you might got something that you think somebody around you is a friend that you might, and like I said, y'all went through this in high school and stuff like that. But then you'll start to realize, oh damn, this is a thieving ass friend. They stole my PS2 or however the case y'all have go through stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I went through that, but just anything. So a lot of times that'll be the eye of the tiger. So that'll just be the tiger. If you see a tiger, the tiger eye represents that. A lot of times, but then cats play out differently also, but it's in that same type of magnitude. But a cat is how to, like, it ain't about stealing or it ain't about taking, but it's about preserving. It's about, because a cat like to hide their kittens and stuff like that. So it's like having multiple creations but wanting to protect it also. So if you see a cat in your dream, right, that mean that it might be somebody snooping around that could steal your creativity, steal your ideas about something, or however the case may be, or just snooping around to get information for no reason. So a nosy person. You know what I'm saying? Cats represent a nosy person. Somebody snooping around and things. So you might be a nosy person. So you have a lot of dreams about cats. You know what I'm saying? And you probably be quick to one. You probably have an auntie like that. And she probably was wrong half of the time because it probably had nothing to do with fish. But she the first one calling everybody's phone. Who pregnant? I had a dream about cats. Who pregnant? And she forgot. She the one. She seeing herself. She ain't seeing nobody else and nobody in her family and her nieces and stuff. She's seeing her goddamn self being too goddamn nosy. That's the side she need to start seeing herself a little bit more. Stop snooping in everybody's cat litter and shit, bitch. Start you in everybody's bullshit. You and everybody else's shit. That's why you dreaming about me, bitch. If I'm a cat in your dream, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's pretty much. But that's a lot of times y'all might be needing to tell y'all aunties that sometimes. She might not know why she was wrong more than she was right. That first couple of times she was right, she made it seem like she was right the whole time. No, 90% out of your whole life, your auntie was wrong. Every time she called everybody, it was like, who pregnant? You know that. Y'all just don't be knowing how to describe it to her like, oh, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be just like, give her that credit or something like that. Like, but y'all know deep down she was wrong half of the time. She got lucky. You just had to give that little false face expression like, that might be true. That might be, oh, no, it's wrong. No, I'm saying no, it's wrong. Real shit. But other than that, when we get into hawks, hawk. Now when you think about a hawk, that hawk's down and things. So that's like a sometimes that could be like an ego person, even beyond the ego itself, the I, because that don't represent like it can. That's what they try to do, but that's more of the hawk. A hawk is a person that attack characteristics. So when you think about a hawk, the bird itself and stuff, it play like a lot like vultures and shit, but not just eating dead things. So the hawk, that'd be like a person that's a narc. Hawk is like a narc and things of that nature. Whatever character they can feed on because they lack it themselves. So they're more deserted than the ego. The hawk is more deserted. So they eat more nastier things. So when you think about a narc, they take more toxic people. The fruit is their energy. The mental form is toxic, is more negative. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times the ego could see that and don't even see that as a good representation to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? So ego will be more Hasidity before a narc. You know what I'm saying? Will act more uppity before a narc and shit like that. Before you even give them, before you give an ego a chance to call him a narc, you might had a bunch of situations to call them stingy about something real quick first, or selfish first. But when it get to the Hawk, nah, that's somebody that would even persuade you like they're not selfish to put you in the right Charlotte's Web situation to be the only person they need you to pay attention to for the rest of your life and things like that. So they get deep when it comes to the Hawk. But anytime somebody try to hawk down on something, greedy people, right, take more than what they should and stuff like that. You leaving something out, thinking somebody nice and like everybody else, and you realizing that you shouldn't leave nothing out when that person around, and they don't even have anything to do with all the time thieving. Y'all know y'all been around people where even mentally or certain physical things where it's so petty you can't look at it like it's stealing or whatever, but you would think another person have a common sense or the decency to know that you might have a sentiment about it. You know what I'm saying? But you will see, oh, they don't even got that. Let me just not leave that out no more. Let me not leave my stash or whatever y'all be having, cashews, peanuts, or whatever the case. Let me not leave that out no more. Because this person, whatever home they come from, by me not saying nothing, it'll be gone. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's like shit like that. That you'll have a dream about a hawk if you have a lot of those people around you and they got those type of characteristics. So it's like more on a percentage scale of them not meaning no harm, but still large on a percentage scale if you just around a damn undecency fool who was raised by a bunch of drunk aunties and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? They auntie raised them. Yeah, wherever you go, you make sure you take a plate. That manifested as a inch, take a mile, live with my best friend for 18 years and shit. Like, y'all said all kind of cause. Y'all see got little motherfuckers. Hell no. Hell motherfucker no. Real shit. Y'all understand it get deep though. It get deep. Start looking at your friends' households and shit like that. Shit get deep when it comes to what's already on their mind program. Become a whole fruit. It started off as a seed when they was in church with their grandmother and auntie and shit. Now, when it comes into bats, now bats a lot of times is where you got it's like a backstabber energy and stuff like that. Where it's a person in front of you when you woke. I keep about to say when you're alive. When you woke, but you don't know everything that they into. Like so, for an example, it might not always deal with manipulation. It could just be things that's hidden. Like this person might be cool with someone y'all cool with, but they got other things going on and you don't know where you could be guilty by association in other areas. And then let's say a situation pop off. Let's say like, all right, you just joined that school, right? Got these friends, but they been had stuff going on. Then y'all end up at a house party or something like that that somebody at y'all school was throwing. Then something else happened, and now it could be a fight or something like that, and you don't know what's going on. So you don't jump in either or something like that. So it's like, damn, what the fuck going? They already had something going on, but now you caught up in a whole bunch of other stuff with them and other people due to the fact of you have a dream about bats. And if you have a dream about a bat, these be the type of situations. Now, they don't have to be that like type of stuff like that all the time. You know, I'm just from the hood, but it can be like from business, right? You get in a business where the outlook of it seems cool, but for that situation to be in the first place, there's other hands that probably got more investment in it, and you ain't gonna know until you sign it or until you do it and shit like that. It's almost like, you know, a group of Mexicans going to work on somebody's house or some shit like that, and they be having their own little schemes going on and shit like that. They be rocking their nephews to sleep or their brothers to sleep and shit like that, and be saying, yeah, we got a job for such and such as that, and they knowing it be for such and such something else. And once the job done, that's when they tell them, oh, yeah, the homeowner only had this and stuff. So, yeah, usually this happens. Usually this happens. It'd be a way to shortchange the person that they just use for less labor for them to do it. Y'all said it would it be them good jobs. They know they're going to get top dollar. They don't even call nephew Hamza Gonzalez. They don't even call him. Y'all said it's fucked up. Fucked up. Y'all said. They don't even call nephew Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just shit. But everybody be having their little ski. I guarantee the little nephew Gonzalez start having dreams about motherfucking goddamn bats. I'm saying? Start the bats and shit like real shit. Yeah, you got some spirits acting out some energies you don't know what's going on that you're a part of all the time and shit like that. You just a little birdie in the daylight thinking you alone with some hyena concept versions of birds or bats. I'm saying they like they talking about vampire. I'm saying they be real good. And ha 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 and shit. Real shit. All the keys and shit. Real shit. So you gotta peep game. Now when we get into pigeons. Now pigeons is like dirty birds. They're not clean like doves. They like so a lot of times you around gossiping people that can't wait to take what you doing to tell someone else. So a lot of times if you see them pigeons, and let's say you in a relationship, and let's say you probably doing something you ain't supposed to do, and you got friends that you think you feel comfortable with, you start to have male or female, you start to have dreams about pigeons. You got either someone around you that's trying to mess your relationship up, have fun with your partner. I'm saying they supposed to be your best friend, or but they trying to figure out when your time that you go to work and stuff like that. They dirty, like they playing a dirty. If you a man, dirty macking, right? So you might like a girl and you told homeboy, y'all might go to Planet Fitness, and it's like a routine. So it's like a time that y'all go that the same kind of people. So y'all building high school qualities there, right? Relationship type bondage that could lead to other things, right? And let's say you ain't even know this person was interested in that person. And let's say you having dreams about pigeons and shit. Man, you got some dirty macking ass friend around you that you gonna find out real fast that as soon as you try to get to know that girl, she probably know more about you and all the negative things about you that you ain't even know your homeboy that you was going to Planet Fitness even knew her and shit. You gonna have to question him, hey, you know her? Yeah, I knew her. Yeah, I've been to her and stuff like that. You know, talking stuff that you didn't know the whole conversations was about you because, you know what I'm saying, real shit, because you didn't told her and you done told him that you was interested. Who is the hell is doing this? Go the fuck somewhere, retard. You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all having to change y'all tone about Israel and stuff like that. Like, all y'all do, y'all just keep getting y'all spiritual ass kicked. That's why I don't know why y'all keep coming on my channel to just get y'all spiritual ass kicked again and stuff like that. Nobody on y'all side about nothing. So every time y'all troll and y'all just make it worse. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not showing people that is YouTube or whatever the case may be. Y'all showing people that is just the government can't stop being perverts. Just keep making people not be on y'all side. I don't know, like it's beyond me at this point. I'm trying to help y'all out though. Like stop over copying and pasting in people's chat. People not looking at that as just people that's weirdos and stuff. People looking at that like that's CIA psyops that y'all just doing things for jokes. That's how people see it. We're not going to see it no other way. I don't care how long you try to do it. We're not going to see it no other way. You know what I'm saying? So all that other stuff, people gonna start watching the news eventually. Then what y'all gonna do to try to fear marker? You can't do anything at that point. Now, but look, check it out. When it comes to so that's pigeons. Now, when it comes to vultures, right? So vultures eat a bunch of dead things and stuff. So anytime something old and outdated, something get ready to be watered down or something like that, or anytime you have a dream about a vulture or whatever, you know something that you a part of is getting ready to end, is getting ready to stop. A lot of times people who had dreams about vultures ain't even remember that dream. Should have wrote it down and shit like that. When they goddamn job that they was a part of start foreclosing, and they ain't even start telling y'all that they was about to move to another location or shut down until 2 weeks before they about to do it and shit like that. So they say, hey, if you want to finish getting paid, you can come up here and help clean in other areas. Hopefully it match the hours out. You know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that. But yeah, the vulture, some small form of gentrification or something like that. Some Jew bought something from another Jew. You know what I'm saying? Some Italian dude got something, took it from him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that building ain't about to be there. That doctor office ain't there no more. You know what I'm saying? So you was a secretary for a good little piece of time, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Once upon a time, had a whole steel mill over here in Ohio. Gone. You know what I said? Shut down. Put in China hands. That's it. The end. I don't go no further than that. But that's where you know a lot of people had dreams about vultures and shit. You know what I'm saying? Anytime there's something dead, you're going to see a vulture. You know what I'm saying? Because vultures don't eat off death. So they stay alive off death. So somebody could be milking a dead business right now. Milking dead. So last time, look. You know what I'm saying? A perfect time for a siren. Yeah, perfect time for a siren. You hired a siren too. Oh, I'm saying real shit. Pretty much, I don't have to say anything else about that. I said that's a profit. That's not even a profit itself. Someone milking the dollar bill without using it as money. It's something that's something made up, and it's a prophecy and something else. Like I mean, a profit in another type of area. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a whole. Anytime you see things that's dead or whatever the case may be, is like keep getting reproduced, keep getting reproduced, keep getting. Don't buy no more Cherokee or no Pontiacs, Tahoes. Don't buy no more. Now we get into Blue Jays, right? Blue Jays. Now Blue Jays, red cardinals, especially if you over here on these lands. Now Blue Jays represents like a harsh message, like something that deals with relationships, something that needs to be balanced. So if you're seeing a blue jay, but you can't point to someone outside of you, and you probably been having a lot of conversations with people about trying to balance their relationships or balance something that they're trying to conduct in their life that have became uneasy for them, and they don't see no form of fairness, or they might be getting the short end of the stick or on the bottom end of the seesaw, right? A lot of times, if it's a person you're having a lot of conversations in that sentiment with, you can have a dream about a blue jay, or a lot of times you will see a blue jay when you need to start seeing other areas of fairness and balance, or where you need to start, or you need to see that side of you. There's something you need to initiate that you're not initiating that can actually create some fairness. And if you keep allowing it to happen, or whether it's getting taken advantage of or being taken for granted or however the case may be, then you will just stay in that kind of energy. But that's when you'll start to have those dreams about the blue jay, because it's trying to say that maybe you need to spill a message, or there's somebody around you trying to give you a message. A lot of times the blue jay uh, be in a dream before cheating happened, right? But cheating for good causes. You could be in a relationship like what's love got to do with it? Got to and then someone come save you, like a super saver or a super saving man, however the case may be, or the male or the female, however the case, because men or females can be hoes. But somebody was you need to pay attention to that you're not paying attention to at the time that can actually save you from your relationship, and it might be that work buddy, you're a female, whatever the case may be. I'm saying the manager friend, the manager boyfriend and shit. I'm saying the manager husband and shit. You know what I'm saying, the boss husband or something like that, or if you're a man or whatever the case, that female, a lot of times her friend or something like that, because you know what I'm saying, you don't be knowing the half. Her friend be seeing all the stuff you don't know and shit like that, and then sometimes it play out like that. You know what I'm saying? Her friend be like, yeah, I don't even fuck with this whole like that, and then a lot of people got in relationships like that. Then you got the red cardinal. Red cardinal is like a dream too, when you're in your passions or you forgot your passions. It's a message of remembering your passions, motivations, or remembering where you could be taken advantage of and you might need to fight fire with fire, or express some aggression, and you're being too timid. You're being too gullible. You know what I'm saying? So that red cardinal wants you to know that not to be too gullible, and that's how your dreams can be expanded. You transmute something that could take flight, but it might need to fight through something to take that flight. You know what I'm saying? Because red is something that's you can see that stands out from other things. Yet it's in a bird attribute. So that's the feathers that the bird spirit created their mind and organ, and then the physical out of and stuff like that. So that's a form of aggression, but still taking flight in the air element. So you be part like the sun and stuff. So you need a fiery thought. Your thoughts is too timid. Somebody could take advantage of you. But if you express a fiery thought, even if it's towards them or not, they could second question how far to treat you, especially if they're trying to put you in a position that is in their best interest and they can manipulate you. They may go ahead and do that with someone else. You know what I'm saying? And you only have to deal with that issue. But for the most part, a lot of times that's when you start to see a red cardinal. Now, then that's birds in general, but birds in general are just messengers. This is getting into like the detail. Then snakes, right? Seeing a snake in a dream, right? So that's either you or someone else being manipulative or lying about something. So there's a liar around. So the spirit that's in the mind body create the la 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 la. But if it's for a ye purpose, right? It could be something that don't have nothing to do with reality, that in all actuality becomes their own lie to get what they want out of a truth. And then that's squaring out something that's truly in nature indirect. So it's dark and black magic being presented outwardly like white and light magic from a spirit that's a bullshit individual. So they're doing all four negatively. And when it comes out indirect, it's an indirect thing being positioned like it is direct. So a person may have a direct way when you're woke of dealing with you that you think that they're straight up about something because you don't know all the manipulation, right? And but if you start to witness a snake in your dream, it might be a situation that appear to be a staff, but it's really a snake. In your dream, is appearing looking at it like that. Why would it be a staff? Is how direct they came into the 1, 2, and third dimension to convince you something. You know what I'm saying? For you to think that, all right, I can trust it. But if you start having that dream about the snake, that's letting you know the staff is turned to a snake in the spiritual world, and there's some indirect thing you're getting hit with when you're awoke. It looked like it's direct. And then for the most part, if you don't know how to put those two things together, here's where you end up on DJ Vlad or VH1 10 years later and shit like that, and try to say somebody manipulated you out the country, or sound like the Americans in Israel right now or something. Like you don't, like act like you don't know what you signed up for or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that kind of energy and stuff. So when it comes into the the Scorpio, well, that's the snake. Now when it comes into the Scorpio has a stinger, but it's not willing to sting. And you have less proportion of this beyond the wasp, like a bee, because it can lose a stinger. So it's not like something want to give you its venom. It's doing it to protect itself, right? Or to stun something if it wants to eat it on its food path. So this dealing with aggression and passion too. But if you see a Scorpio in your dream, it's either you in your wake life having a stronghold on someone or someone having a stronghold on you. So the relationship that y'all are dealing with each other with is either party is using one or the other for alternative purposes, or even both. So both is getting what they want out of the situation, but what both or multiple parties is getting out of the situation may not be what everyone is wanting for to be together. For an example, you could join a gang because you want to stop get picked on. So you're doing things with the gang that all of y'all could be successful on other stuff, like if y'all robbing banks or something. But in all actuality, you joined the gang because you want to stop getting bullied. One person joined the gang because they didn't want to be broke. One person joined the gang. Well, it depends because thieves and hustlers is two different things. A lot of times, most of the thieves join the gangs, but for the most part, when it comes to everybody had their own scenario. So once y'all fulfill what the trauma bond, the demonic energy, what brought y'all together, y'all just gonna take all those qualities and separate and go in your own space that match what y'all really was trying to do in the first place. Y'all just ain't know, y'all was lost, right? So it's like that kind of energy when you dream about a scorpion. You could be part of something like that, or that being worked against you in totality, or you doing that to others in some way, where you're involved in something solely on the base of what's in it for you. Kind of like how Washi Shu think. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, it's just business, nothing personal. But pardon me, y'all. But when it comes to two, the situation that plays out as an outcome in these scenarios, this came up with the kind of like sarcasm that we use when we say you got stung. You know what I'm saying? You got played, right? You got manipulated. That's basically what it is. You didn't see everything in the dark, but it's too late after you already got stung. And if you would have knew it was a scorpion in the dark, aka if you would have knew it was something in that sand, if you would have knew the hidden agenda, if you would have knew the alternative motive, then maybe you could have saved yourself from being stung. And we just give that quality to whoever did that to you, having a stinger, and give that allegory to the Scorpio concept. But from the spiritual lens, this is what all signs have the ability to do before we pull that out and bring that below and write it in a book, and it can become astrology. You see what I'm saying? Now, so this would make Scorpios could do that better than others, but all's got access to do it and may even be able to get away with it better than some Scorpios that don't understand that. You see what I'm saying? Fish, when we talk about astrology, but this is just beyond astrology. Now, fish represent like water. So this is being in fluid. So it doesn't always have to deal with birth and children, but birth in general has a waterly quality like our organs, heart and our brain. And fish is like brain food and stuff. So it's letting you know something that is less dense is condensing to be brought in this world, like where you once started, in its most pure state, even before a land creature. So it can represent babies, but it also represent if you're seeing a fish, but you don't see nobody around you and their spark of creativity or imagination or even babies, it's something you need to see that's in your mind that you need to start giving birth to, because it could be something that get you a lot of attention, get you in a good position. You know what I'm saying? Or something that you're not seeing that you could add on to something that you already doing. So this, especially when it comes to like goldfish, you know what I'm saying? You got some gold in your mind and your heart that you're not presenting. That's like you knowing when you be in the shower, you can sing, and you being in the studio and now you keep stuttering. You see what I'm saying? It's like that. And when you're in that situation, people like that start having dreams about goldfish and fish and stuff like that and don't know how to tie that together. It's you needing to remind yourself when you in that situation at the studio, make sure you force your spirit to jump in that mind, that thought and feeling, that's the spaceship, that you can have that adrenaline and blood flow no matter how timid it get, because you in a different spiritual space at the moment having to deal with the mind and physical there. So you can be in that same energy bubble, mind state, and adrenaline that make your tongue and voice come out the same way it be when you be in that goddamn shower. Know what I'm saying? Whatever, pull out all the thoughts, even if you have to close your eyes and be like, P. Diddy not here. P. Diddy not here. He's not going to say, take that. He's not going to say, take that, take that. Know what I'm saying? And go ahead and get it done, bitch. Or you're going to be doing it 1,000 times because Dr. Dre in the studio, too. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that stuff it probably wrong, and that's probably the wrong example. Shower, oh, sad soul P Diddy, yeah, that's the wrong example. Wrong is my bad, y'all. I take that all back. But hopefully you got the gem in that. Yeah, all day, my bad, y'all. My bad. Take that, my bad. Now, the crab, seeing a crab, right? That somebody can have a hook on you in some way, shape, or form, right? So when someone got a hook on you or you got a hook on another, it doesn't necessarily always have to deal with an actual person. Sometimes it could deal with you not letting a situation go. You being hooked on a situation. You attached to something that might be starting to go down a negative end and not the promised land. So you have to understand that too when it comes to crabs. Then sharks, sharks, you think about sharks, their teeth and stuff like that, that's the main thing that pop in your mind. Have other attributes, but if you're having dreams about sharks, a lot of times it goes to greediness, people who like to sink themselves into stuff, people who leap too fast, right? Who should have cold feet and may have told you when you got cold feet in a situation that made you feel guilty about it, but you can see how it led them into the halfway house for 18 months and stuff like that over and over again. So the other knowledge they be adding to it don't be justified when you see it from this spiritual factor. Y'all just might be lost in y'all distractions, and it worked where, yeah, but remember when I was out, we was rich for a little bit because we robbed that bank. Let's see, you just lost in that for a second. You know what I'm saying? You ain't thinking about the other thing. That's just a person who leaped too fast and shit, shark and sink their teeth in the shit too fast. You know what I'm saying? All your stash and your half for the goddamn bank robbery too. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even say all that. They don't remember to tell you all that though. But like I said, that's you got a shark around you. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's a show called Tank Sharks or something like that. No, Business Sharks. Or Shark Tank. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But shit like that. They're living in a shark. They at SeaWorld right now. Things of that nature. There's always broadcasting what they put their spirit in that little pocket of SeaWorld and shit. And then you got dolphins. Now think about dolphins. Now they bite your ass, okay, but they got more like teeth that turtle teeth or whatever the case. But dolphins is more like something you can feed, more safer or whatever the case. But it's amongst the water. So when you think about a dolphin, right, that's like telling you that you're not taking it easy. You start dreaming about dolphins and shit like that, you have to take it easy in some way. What's that old Sega Genesis dolphin? I forget what it is. I think it's called Dolphin or something like that. No, Echo or some of the worst games ever. It better be free. That I'll say you go get a retro Sega right now, they probably come with it for free. Trash. I was like, they could have kept that shit. They should have never made it. I was like, they could have just kept that shit. But when you dream about a dolphin, that means that either there's getting ready to be a situation, especially if you're a high tempered person, ADHD type person, that dolphin is letting you know once you got this spiritual science, right? It might be a situation you get ready to experience that's a little spicy that you shouldn't even act on, even if you think you're capable of taking care of it because you're already a spicy person. That's the situation you might need to calm down on. You know, like 5 seconds could lead to ending your life or 20 years in jail or prison. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you start seeing dolphins, it's like, okay, be sensitive to the emotion. And you might be around someone who's emotionally aroused and some type of energy, and you're not knowing what they're capable of. You don't know that person might got a knife in their pocket. You don't know that person, and that might be a person you probably been bullying or something like all these type of scenarios like y'all been seeing off of Butter Rim and Juice and Minister Society and stuff. But at the same time, if you see a dolphin, it's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's preparing you for that, or this is a side of yourself you need to see. It's a situation that's getting ready to pop up. You calm down, or you need to calm someone else down because they're acting irate or whatever like that, and they may be thinking that they're capable of a situation that might get out of hand or whatever the case. So that's you having the foreknowledge, being able to see ahead, right? Because the triangle makes the three: problem, solution, conclusion, and then the foreknowledge is being able to understand the outcome when you unravel the triangle and makes it a square. And then now that's when you circle out the square, then replace the square, then have a magic square, a magic circle, then a magic triangle to come out and then express that shit. And then for the most part, you know how to take the center path. And then the square will be on the left and the circle will be on the right. But at the same time, the triangle will be in the center. You getting out. But that's just you didn't even really got to look at it like that. But that's just what happens anyway. You know what I'm saying when it comes to the because it ain't an actual square, but we call it the perfect square. It ain't an actual circle, but we call it the great circle, the perfect circle. It ain't an actual triangle, but we call it the great TP. You know what I'm saying? So it's the ta, but it's hey, hi, ho, hu, he. So it's brought on the ground, ta from pa. A small portion of that can be made rock that don't float in the sky can float amongst us down here, right? So that's T, and then from the P itself. So it ain't pa, it's a mimic of it. So it's on Earth with us. So it's a form of pa down here, TP, and then we make that, and that becomes our hat down here. You know what I'm saying? So this is where TPs come from. So we didn't used to live in TPs until colonization. Not even the Great Plains. They line everybody and stuff like that. They have big ass wigwams and shit like that. We had long houses and shit. TPs was made for the between cities and shit like that. On the because the outskirts would be the white plate cities and the red plate cities. Then the center towns would be where the main chief at. So it'd be like the downtown or whatever the case be. But the territory of the downtown would be it ain't cities and states. It's like multiple cities and states in one. For an example, if you back in the day, if you would have lived in what we call it right now, Ohio, Illinois, you know what I'm saying, Indiana, Detroit, a little bit of Mississippi, stuff like that. Um, Downtown would have been in Indianapolis or got Cahokia, and that's where whoever mimicking what the great chiefs did and or was still doing down in Peru and everywhere else to push us up when we were broke, but we're here to establish the land up here based on trade route and stuff like that. So we all mimicking our cultures, just spreading out. Then we had that up here, and things of that nature. So that will be when all the 7 bands on each side, like the end of the Shibi, like the Ojibwe and all them and stuff like that. Then on this side, Haudenosaunee or the Seneca, then the Shawnee, Wyandotte, Miami. Then on the lower side, all the bands that made the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, Choctaw, and stuff like that. So this is what's going to flood the top part of Mississippi, top part of Georgia, and whatever the case may be, and shit like that. So y'all have to understand when we talk about Civil War, it wasn't in nobody's favor, right? All civil wars is because the England and Pilgrims want to move Native Americans more westward and Britain don't know why. Like Britain not trying to take people land like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it seemed like Britain was helping us a lot of time, but also ain't trying to stop England because they could have took America from England or whatever the case may be. But that's their little brothers. So it's like a conflict of interest type of thing. So it was a lot of times we had assistance by Britain and realized we didn't. and got hit with the damn Scorpio energy, snake energy by them, and realized they was all a team and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They was just setting us up to do something for us to get our own stuff out the way. So you got to understand that. So like and then from to the bottom of Canada, all of us used to go down all the way down to Peru too, and New Mexico, go through the Great Plains. It used to be a thing to do. There ain't no TV or nothing like that. And tribes is making bands and mixing with each other. So by the end of the year, it could be a whole band of tribes that was in the Great Lakes end up in the Great Plains. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a whole like a yearly thing. It ain't a second thing in our mind. You always got somewhere to go. You always got this. You always got that. You're part of a trade route. The land is your home, and we're making homes on it. So this is where we get that nature of welcoming people in, even like settlers, and they thought we was too friendly till we had to show them we wasn't. That's where that come from. It's a natural thing because it's how we built the land itself of how we making communion and kinship amongst each other. Not it's already business being established and then morality have to be at play. We built the world up off morality first, the indigen first, being and seeing the world from inside first. So if I see even how you're acting outside, we're getting ready to have a conversation about what's going on inside as if it's the outside. It's like one world. And before everything is even physical, this is how we was floating around and shit like that too. Everybody though. This how fishes think they are doing. Where in all actuality they are. Your body is this a physical spaceship that you make the mechanism from your mind spaceship. So your mind is the spaceship conditioned to become your physical form of it, your body. So each organ is ran by the mind state that condense and become the organ. Pardon me. And the spirit is inside it, just flying around. So you gotta look at it like that. You could be in this spaceship that made this organ, and you're just flying around. You're not even in these other parts of your body. There's everything else working that's coming with you. Jump in another spirit, mind, chakra, and jump in that organ and start to see things through that layer. And here's the thing, don't get lost into this intuition, this way of seeing outwardly. You're always seeing outwardly, it's just different ways of seeing. They call it intuition. You're still experiencing external influences. You're still being impacted, and you're still being able to do this with others. This is how we receive our spaceship, the solar system, your system that your soul fly in. This is your chakras and your organs. So when you push out a thought, other people can receive it, whether they're around you or not. For an example, let's say you're into baseball. Spirit and the spiritual space to be aware of those buildings and thoughts and feelings of baseball to condense to become you doing baseball down here. Someone from another country you don't know is in that same, y'all in the same spiritual space. So they're doing their same thing. They may know something you don't know. They're pushing that thought out in the spiritual world in their spaceship. Teamwork makes the dream work. Spaceships colliding in the physical world. Y'all connect even if y'all not in the same geographical location. We got online now. You'll probably type something in you want to learn online, and that person that's doing the same thing you doing got that other idea about it that you can learn now. So that's telekinesis. You know what I'm saying? In some way. So y'all know each other in the spiritual world because y'all in the same nature, astral thoughts and feelings and buildings in Babylon. And the physical world is just playing out like that based on layer of degrees and percentage scale. You know what I'm saying? So if you work hard on that enough, you might join a baseball league and this person might join a baseball league and y'all might actually be around each other physically. You see what I'm saying? But is that depending on the layers of degrees and what you're dealing with, one might play out the other way. You're closer to the people first and then it's spread out. Y'all separate based upon decisions and it can play out and then all layers in between. Don't have to be countrywide. It can be citywide, statewide, streetwise, blockwide, classmate-wide. You know what I'm saying? So it's helping you to understand the spiritual metaphysics. This is basically spiritual metaphysics. So y'all understand when you're seeing it from this lens first, outwardly, a person is in a certain mood, the way that they're even walking. We got the word for it already. I'm going to start teaching y'all. And that's what you would start to, and if a person acting negative, they actually settle with that in themselves. So this would be a person that probably hurt their family or something like that and try to become a wood stick being or, you know what I'm saying? A goddamn body snatcher or something like that. And then because once you kill your aunt or kill somebody in your family or something like that, it's because people trying to wake you up like this. Like I might be your family member and using these words that you're refusing, and you know why we both know why you're refusing internally. So we know you don't give a fuck. This is the path you on. And you might try to prove that by killing your auntie or whatever the case may be, because of whatever you involved in that you won't even dare want us to know anymore either, and shit like that. So you're choosing to do these actions because you know that this is what it takes for us to see this what it means to of a someone disowning themselves, or because when it comes to kinship, you have to do a lot for us to let you go. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Like we about that kinship. Well, at least before when we had our shit, they didn't fucked us over and shit. So it was extreme things that was done back in the time to let people know that, let the family know or the tribes know you're rebelling. That goes to killing auntie, and it could be an auntie that we're so spiritual. Yo, it could be things that y'all be doing now that back in the day we looked at as, it could be something that we attach to as negative. And even if auntie got killed, it'd be a lot of things we'd be able to justify. We'd be like, auntie, she ain't put the feather on the right side of the damn longhouse the right way. You know what I'm saying? And this amount of months or something like that. So shit, it probably was that spirit or whatever like that. So that's why this person, but it ain't rightful, you know what I'm saying, for him to rebel or her to rebel and stuff like that, to become that thing in the woods. Is, you know what I'm saying? Like it'd be just like, it's deep. I'm saying a lot of times it's just a spooky land. Though. This is where you get the spirituality shit from. Over here, the central, southern, and northern America, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Not nowhere else. Everywhere else is about that money. Everywhere else don't give a fuck about money. They don't give a fuck about land. They want to blow everything up. Because that's how y'all even got to think about these wars at times and stuff like that. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it like it's fear mongering. It's another thing to think about but it still don't make sense. When people, like when even gangbangers go to war and stuff, right? And like how we used to do it. And we re-rated their forts and stuff. It was for reasons. People just want to blow stuff up just to blow stuff up. It ain't even really no reason. Even if you go into war, why go to war like that? Like, think about it. You got one country saying, hey, we're going to war, but their way of going about it is this. We're just going to blow up random shit. That don't benefit nobody. Like, that. See, that's all white boy shit. What kind of war is that? If y'all ain't about to just go out and punch each other and shoot each other like y'all used to do in front of each other, everything else is weird. Like, creating missiles where one country make the other country in fear, like, hey, if you don't do what we want you to do, that probably got something else to do with white boy tactics, money. We're going to shoot a missile that land on the land, and if people there, we don't give a fuck. What the fuck do that got to do with anything? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand. That's like a gangbanger saying, hey, to join the gang, just go shoot up a random block. Why is that to prove anything? Like, I said, like, yeah, it don't make no sense. Like, why bothering somebody paying rent got to do with your beef? You know what I'm saying? Why bothering a whole landmass of people probably thinking, watching Walt Disney at the moment? The hell they got to do with y'all? Man, y'all better come up with something. Like, that shit be weird. Like, you don't even, that part right there don't even make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, y'all, we should be fear of war. That's one thing. How people go about it is another. It don't even got nothing to do with having a winner or a loser. It's just nonsense. Hey, we get ready to go to war, so let's just blow up random things. Like, it's dumb in general. It don't even make no sense. So whoever going to war and think that's winning a war, how is that even winning a war? That don't even have anything to do with anything. Like, you just want to blow shit up. That's an excuse to blow shit up. That still ain't got nothing to do with someone still about to be arguing over paperwork or something like that and creating 2,000-year-old religious arguments. The end. And I love all y'all from the bottom. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Haël'Ho, Yahlahué. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You know, listen to the mind of that terrorist move. I am the royal RJJ Uriel, and I'm here to carry God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Y'all kick y'all spirituality. Say y'all check y'all spiritual, y'all cultures, and keep it safe. And this goddamn shit is a spiritual war going on outside, and shit, you ain't safe. I'm talking about it ain't safe. Look, it what? Where's it? You ain't safe. Let's protect our goddamn kids now. Real shit.